The attic had been her prison for 20 years, but tonight, Rowan would finally break free. Welcome back, my beautiful family. Before we get started, kindly subscribe, like, share, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. Take a deep breath, settle in, and let's dive into today's story. Rowan pressed her face against the narrow window, her silver eyes reflecting the full moon that hung over the kingdom like a promise. Below, in the grand square, torches blazed in preparation for the mating ceremony. Every eligible Omega in the realm would be presented to Alpha King Casian tonight, every Omega except her. The sound of footsteps on the stairs made her heart leap, but it wasn't her stepmother's heavy tread. It was lighter, hesitant. "Rowan?" The whisper came through the locked door. "It's me. It's Finn." Her half-brother. The only person in this cursed house who'd ever shown her kindness. "Finn, you shouldn't be here," Rowan whispered back, moving to the door. "If Mother finds out, Mother's already left for the ceremony with Celeste." There was a jingle of keys, and then the lock clicked open. Finn pushed through, his young face flushed with urgency. At 14, he was still too young to understand why their mother kept Rowan hidden, but he knew it was wrong. "I stole her keys. Rowan, you have to go. You have to attend the ceremony." Rowan's breath caught. "I can't. You know I can't. If anyone sees my eyes, then cover them." Finn thrust a velvet cloak into her hands. "Wear the hood low. But Rowan, something inside me says you need to be there tonight, that it's important, like fate is screaming at me." Rowan stared at the cloak, her hands trembling. She'd spent 20 years in this attic, 20 years being told she was shameful, cursed, a mistake that needed to be hidden away. Her stepmother, Lady Margot, had raised her own daughter Celeste as the family's only Omega, presenting her to society while keeping Rowan locked away like a dark secret, all because of her eyes. These silver eyes that Margot insisted were unnatural, wrong, dangerous. "What if they discover who I am?" Rowan whispered. "What if they don't?" Finn countered. "What if tonight is the night you finally get to choose your own fate instead of letting Mother choose it for you?" Something in his words struck a chord deep in Rowan's chest. Her wolf, suppressed and beaten down by years of captivity, suddenly stirred, lifted its head, howled for freedom. "Okay," Rowan breathed. "Okay, I'll go." The mating ceremony was everything Rowan had imagined and nothing she'd prepared for. The great hall of the Moon Palace was vast beyond comprehension. Marble columns soared toward a ceiling painted with constellations, each star embedded with actual diamonds that caught the light of 1,000 candles. Werewolf nobility filled the space, their fine clothes shimmering with silver thread, their wolves' eyes gleaming beneath human faces, and at the center of it all, seated on a throne carved from a single massive piece of moonstone, was Alpha King Casian. Rowan had heard stories about him all her life. The warrior king who'd united the fractured packs, the alpha whose strength was matched only by his loneliness, the ruler who'd delayed finding a mate for 5 years because he refused to settle for anything less than the bond the moon goddess intended. But no story had prepared her for the reality of him. He was massive, his broad shoulders draped in a cloak of midnight blue that matched his dark hair. His face was all sharp angles and controlled power, with eyes the color of amber that currently surveyed the gathered Omegas with a mixture of duty and barely concealed disappointment. He looked like a man going through the motions of a ceremony he didn't believe in anymore. "All eligible Omegas have been presented, Your Majesty," the royal advisor announced, his voice echoing through the hall. "Shall we begin the selection walk?" Casian nodded once, standing from his throne with fluid grace that shouldn't have been possible for someone his size. The gathered Omegas straightened, preening, hoping to catch his attention as he descended the steps. Rowan stood at the very back of the crowd, her hood pulled low, her heart hammering against her ribs. She shouldn't be here. This was madness. If her stepmother saw her... "Rowan? Rowan, is that you?" Dread flooded through her veins. She knew that voice. Celeste pushed through the crowd, her beautiful face twisted with shock and fury beneath her golden curls. Her Omega scent, carefully enhanced with expensive perfumes, wafted before her like a weapon. "What are you doing here?" Celeste hissed, grabbing Rowan's arm with nails that dug in like claws. "Mother said you were locked away. How did you—" "Let me go," Rowan whispered desperately, trying to pull free. But Celeste's grip only tightened. "You're going to ruin everything!" Celeste's voice rose, drawing attention. "You can't be here. You're not supposed to exist." The crowd was turning now. whispers spreading like wildfire, and worse, far worse, the Alpha King had stopped walking. His head turned toward the commotion, toward her. "Guards!" Celeste called out, her voice dripping with false concern. "This Omega wasn't invited. She's an imposter. She needs to be removed before she ruins the sacred ceremony." Two guards started forward. Rowan's hood slipped as she struggled against Celeste's grip, and for one crystalline moment, everything stopped, because her silver eyes were now visible to the entire hall. The whispers died. The guards froze mid-step, and Alpha King Casian went utterly, completely still. Then he moved, not toward the guards, toward her. The crowd parted before him like water, everyone stepping back instinctively as he crossed the marble floor with predatory focus. His amber eyes were locked on Rowan's face, on her silver eyes, with an intensity that made her wolf whimper and bare its throat in submission. When he reached her, he didn't speak at first, just stared, studying every feature of her face as if memorizing it, as if seeing something he'd been searching for his entire life. "Your eyes," he finally said, his voice rough. "Where did you get those eyes?" I was born with them," Rowan stammered. "Your Majesty, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have come." "Silver eyes," Casian interrupted, and something dangerous flickered across his face. The mark of the Silvercrest bloodline, the royal family. The hall erupted in shocked gasps. Celeste's grip on Rowan's arm went slack. "That's impossible," Lady Margot's voice rang out as she pushed through the crowd, her face pale. "Your Majesty, this girl is no one. A charity case my late husband took in. She has no connection to—" "Don't lie to your king." Casian's words cracked like a whip, silencing Margot mid-sentence. His eyes never left Rowan's face. 20 years ago, King Darius Silvercrest's infant daughter was declared dead in a fire that destroyed the Western Palace. Her body was never recovered. He reached out slowly, carefully, as if approaching a spooked animal, and pushed back Rowan's hood completely. Gasps echoed through the hall as more of her features became visible. "The princess had a birthmark," Casian continued, his voice dropping lower. "A crescent moon shape behind her left ear." Rowan's hand flew to that exact spot, the birthmark she'd always had, the one Margot had always told her to hide. Casian's jaw clenched. "Show me." With trembling fingers, Rowan swept her dark hair aside. The crescent moon birthmark gleamed silver in the candlelight. The Alpha King's eyes flashed wolf gold. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of absolute authority. "You're not a charity case. You're Princess Rowan Silvercrest, daughter of King Darius, heir to the Silvercrest throne." His gaze cut to Lady Margot, who had gone white as snow. "And you've been hiding her." "No," Margot breathed, backing away. "No, Your Majesty, you don't understand." "Ah, I understand perfectly." Casian's voice could have frozen fire. 20 years ago, the Western Palace burned. King Darius and Queen Alara died in that fire. Their infant daughter was declared dead. But she wasn't dead, was she? Someone took her. Someone wanted the Silvercrest line to end. He moved toward Margot like a stalking wolf. "Your husband, Lord Edmund, was captain of the King's Guard. He had access to the royal chambers. He could have entered during the chaos of the fire." His eyes narrowed. "Did he take her? Did he steal a princess from her burning home and raise her as a shameful secret in his attic?" "It wasn't like that." Margot's composure finally shattered. "Edmund saved her. The fire. It was an assassination. Rival packs wanted the Silvercrest line erased. He got Rowan out, but if anyone knew she'd survived, they would have come for her. He was protecting her." "By locking her away?" Casian's voice dripped with fury. "By treating her like a curse? By keeping her alive?" Margot screamed. "Yes, I kept her hidden after Edmund died. Yes, I told her she was shameful, that her eyes were wrong, because if anyone suspected, if anyone realized she carried royal blood, she would have been murdered in her sleep." Tears streamed down her face now. "I did what I had to do to keep her safe." Silence fell over the hall. Rowan felt like she couldn't breathe. Princess. She was a princess. Her entire life had been a lie. "Then why attend tonight?" a voice called out. "If she needed to stay hidden, why is she here now?" All eyes turned to Rowan. She opened her mouth, but no words came. "Because fate demanded it," Casian said quietly. He was staring at Rowan with something that looked like wonder, like recognition. "Because the moon goddess doesn't make mistakes." He held out his hand to her. Do you feel it? He asked softly. The pull? Rowan did feel it, had felt it from the moment their eyes met. A connection that transcended explanation. A bond that sang through her blood like coming home. The mate bond, she whispered. Yes. Casian's hand remained extended. I've searched 5 years for this feeling, 5 years of ceremonies and presentations and disappointment, and now I know why I never found it. His amber eyes held hers. I was waiting for you, for the lost princess who was hidden away where I couldn't reach her, until tonight. Rowan looked at his hand, at the entire hall watching with bated breath, at her stepmother, who for all her cruelty had apparently kept her alive, at Celeste, whose dreams of becoming queen were crumbling, at young Finn, who stood near the entrance with tears of joy in his eyes. She thought of 20 years in an attic, 20 years of being told she was shameful, wrong, cursed, 20 years of believing she deserved to be hidden, and she thought of the wolf inside her, finally lifting its head, finally howling for what it wanted. Rowan placed her hand in Casian's. The moment their skin touched, power exploded through the hall. Silver light blazed from their joined hands, spiraling upward in ribbons of pure magic. The ancient runes carved into the palace walls began to glow. The moonstone throne pulsed with light, and every wolf in the hall felt it, the undeniable, unbreakable mate bond snapping into place between their king and his true Luna. The lost princess had been found. The weeks following the ceremony passed in a blur of revelations and transformations. Rowan learned that the Silvercrest bloodline carried ancient magic, the ability to communicate with the moon goddess herself, to strengthen pack bonds, to heal corruption in the land. This magic had been sleeping inside her all these years, suppressed by captivity and fear. Now, with Casian at her side and her true identity revealed, it was awakening. You're a natural, Casian murmured one evening as they stood on the palace balcony overlooking the kingdom. Rowan had just successfully performed a blessing ritual that would ensure good harvests for the farming packs. It's like you were born for this. I was born for this, Rowan replied, still marveling at the truth. Literally. Casian smiled, a rare, genuine expression that transformed his usually stern face. I spent 5 years searching for my mate, 5 years attending ceremonies and meeting Omegas who were perfectly nice but never right. I started to think the moon goddess had forgotten about me. She didn't forget. Rowan leaned into his warmth. She was just waiting for the right moment, for me to be ready. And are you? Casian asked quietly. Ready for all this? For being Luna? For being princess? For being mine? Rowan turned to face him fully. I spent 20 years being told I was too shameful to exist, that my eyes were wrong, that I needed to hide. And now I'm standing on a palace balcony, preparing to be crowned Luna and reclaim my birthright. So yes, I'm ready, more than ready. She touched his face gently. Besides, you saved me. You saved yourself, Casian corrected. You were the one brave enough to attend that ceremony despite the risk. You were the one who refused to stay hidden. Finn helped, Rowan said with a soft smile. He's the one who unlocked the door. Then he'll be honored at the coronation, Casian promised. As will Lady Margot. Rowan's expression flickered. You're honoring her after what she did? She kept you alive when assassins wanted you dead. She made cruel choices, yes, but they came from a place of desperate protection. Casian's jaw tightened. Though I've made it clear that if she ever speaks to you with anything less than respect again, exile will be the kindest consequence she faces. Rowan laughed despite herself. My fierce protector. Always, Casian vowed. Then his expression grew serious. Rowan, there's something I need to tell you about the night your parents died. Dread pooled in Rowan's stomach. What about it? The investigation has concluded. We know who ordered the assassination. Rowan waited, her heart pounding. It was my uncle, Casian said heavily. Lord Victor, he wanted the Silvercrest line destroyed, so that when my father died, there would be no competing claims to power, no ancient bloodline to challenge our family's rule. Where is he now? Rowan asked, her voice cold. In the dungeons, awaiting your judgment. Casian took her hands. You're the last Silvercrest. The choice of his fate belongs to you. Rowan closed her eyes, feeling the weight of justice and mercy warring inside her. When she opened them again, her silver eyes gleamed with resolve. "Exile," she said firmly. "Strip him of his titles, his lands, his pack connections. Let him live the rest of his life as a rogue, alone and forgotten. Death would be too kind." Casian's eyes flashed with approval and perhaps a bit of pride. "It will be done." They stood together in comfortable silence, watching the moon rise over their kingdom. Kingdom, Rowan thought with wonder. She was no longer the hidden girl in the attic. She was Princess Rowan Silvercrest, true Luna to the Alpha King, blessed by the moon goddess herself. "I have one more question," Rowan said suddenly. "Ask me anything." "At the ceremony, when you saw my eyes, you knew immediately what they meant. How?" Casian's expression grew distant. "Because I've been dreaming of them for years. Silver eyes that haunted my sleep. I didn't understand what the dreams meant until I saw you." He pulled her closer. "The moon goddess was preparing me, showing me who to search for. I just didn't realize I needed to look in the last place anyone would think to hide a princess." "In an attic," Rowan murmured. "In an attic," Casian agreed. "Hidden from every ceremony, every gathering, every chance at a normal life, until one brave young wolf decided his sister deserved better." "We should make Finn a royal advisor when he's older," Rowan suggested. "He has good instincts." "Already planned," Casian assured her with a grin. The coronation took place 3 weeks later under a full moon that seemed to shine specifically for Rowan. She wore a gown of silver and white that seemed to be woven from moonlight itself. Her dark hair was crowned with a circlet bearing the Silvercrest crest, a crescent moon entwined with a wolf. And her silver eyes, once hidden in shame, now shone with confidence and power. The entire kingdom had gathered to witness the lost princess reclaim her throne, to watch as she was bound to the Alpha King, not just as his mate, but as his equal, his partner, his Luna. Elder Corbin, the same elder who had presided over countless ceremonies, stepped forward with tears in his ancient eyes. 20 years ago, we mourned Princess Rowan Silvercrest. We declared her lost to fire and ash, but the moon goddess doesn't make mistakes. She was never lost. She was hidden, protected, kept safe until the moment she was needed most. He turned to address the crowd. "Today, we don't just crown a Luna. We restore a bloodline. We honor a survival. We celebrate the will of the moon goddess who brought two souls together despite every obstacle placed between them." He placed his hands on Rowan's and Casian's joined palms. "Alpha King Casian, do you accept this woman as your Luna, your equal, your partner in all things?" "I do," Casian said, his voice carrying across the silent crowd. "For as long as my heart beats and beyond." "Princess Rowan Silvercrest, do you accept this man as your alpha, your protector, your partner in all things?" Rowan looked into Casian's amber eyes and saw her entire future reflected there. A future of purpose, power, and love. A future she'd thought impossible from her attic prison. "I do," she said clearly, "for as long as my heart beats and beyond. Then by the power of the moon goddess and the ancient laws of our kind, I declare you bound." Elder Corbin's voice rang with joy. "Luna Rowan Silvercrest, may your reign be long and blessed." The crowd erupted in cheers. Silver light exploded from Rowan and Casian's joined hands, cascading over the gathered wolves like a blessing. Every person there felt it, the rightness of this union, the power of the restored bloodline, the approval of the moon goddess herself. As Casian drew Rowan into a kiss that sealed their bond forever, she felt her wolf sing with pure joy. No more hiding, no more shame, no more attic prisons. She was home. She was found. She was exactly where she was always meant to be. Years later, when elderly wolves told stories to their grandchildren, they spoke of the hidden princess, the Omega who was locked away to keep her safe, who attended a ceremony she was forbidden from entering, who was discovered by an Alpha King who'd been dreaming of her silver eyes for years. They spoke of how love found a way even when every door was locked. They spoke of how fate cannot be avoided, only delayed. And they spoke of how Luna Rowan Silvercrest proved that no matter how long you're hidden, the moon goddess will always find a way to bring you into the light. Because true mates always find each other, even if one of them has been hidden from the world for 20 years. Even if the other has been searching without knowing what he was looking for, the moon goddess doesn't make mistakes. She just asks us to be patient while she arranges the pieces. And when everything finally falls into place, the wait becomes worth it. Every single time. If this story moved your heart, subscribe to Alpha Moon Tales for more stories where the hidden become found, the lost become cherished, and true love always finds its way home. Your next journey awaits.